In this next lesson, we're going to work with rotating and flipping. Now I'm simply just going to choose the pen tool and quite honestly trace this rooster here. There we go around his legs. Close it off now, go to paths, and load this as a selection. That was the quickest selection I've ever done. Now, obviously it's not that accurate, but that's not important right now. What we're going to do is take this selection, we're going to layer new and say layer via cut. Now if we go to layers, see the rooster is on its own background here. I'm going to open up another image and give it a moment. And if I minimize, it puts them side by side. And I'm going to choose the move tool and simply move the rooster onto the other file. Again, I'm going to close out this file. There we go. Now I can move him around. It's not the cleanest, but there we go. I'm going to simply throw away any below layer. Now, if I'm on a top layer, what I can do is do what's called show bounding box. And this allows me to scale. And if I move away from the corner, I get a double arrow, and I can click and pull down and rotate. And if I hold down Shift, I can scale it and keep it conformed, the width and height. Okay, and now if I hit Enter, it applies that. If I uncheck Show Bounding Box, we can do this another way. If I go to Edit, Transform, I could say Scale, Rotate, or Skew. Let's take a look at what Skew does. Skew simply controls the angles. Do I want to apply it? Don't apply. And notice that I went back to the Move tool. That prompts you to apply the transformation. Transform, distort. If I hold down the Control key, see if I go in the middle here, don't apply. If I go to Edit, Transform, I have Distort, Perspective. I could also rotate 180, rotate 90 degrees clockwise, and 90 degrees counterclockwise. So I could also flip horizontal. Now, of course, we have perspective, which allows you to control the perspective of the image. And flip vertical. I also have free transform, which just allows me to do anything I want to it. And by holding down Control, I can manipulate one of these points. And there you go. Now, if we go to Image, I can rotate the canvas. Not just the rooster, but the canvas as well. And this is definitely a big help. Now, if I choose the Selection tool and drag it out, and then go to Image, go to Trim, it's going to trim away the top, bottom, left, and right. And if I click OK, let's go ahead and merge these layers down. We'll go here to the Option arrow, and say Merge Down. Then go to Image, Crop. And as you see, it's been cropped. Now I'm just going to go ahead and undo that for a moment. I'm going to deselect. I'm going to make a new file. Now, I'm simply going to put a shape of a heart right about here. And if I go to Image, Trim, I'm going to trim away top, bottom, and not the left and the right. And if I click OK, see what happens? It trims the image down to where it meets up with the heart top and bottom, but not the left and right. If I go to Image, Trim again, and I turn on these two and click OK, it crops it right to the image. And this is very, very useful. If you're doing a lot of exportation, you probably want to use this. If you want to crop things directly to the edge, using trim is perfect. In the next lesson, we're going to work with trim a little bit more and a little more transforming.